Ladies and gentlemen, today I invite you to explore one of the most powerful yet misunderstood aspects of our human experience, the art of being alone. In a world brimming with distractions and constant noise, we often overlook the profound potential that solitude holds. It's a paradox, really. We are surrounded by people, connected through technology, yet many of us feel more disconnected than ever before. But what if I told you that the key to rediscovering your true self lies in the very act of embracing solitude? To truly understand this, we need to shift our perspective. Solitude is not the absence of people, it's the presence of self. When we are alone, we create the necessary space to look inward, away from the expectations, judgments, and pressures of the outside world. It's in those quiet moments, free from distractions, that we can hear the whispers of our inner voice, the voice that has often been drowned out by the noise of daily life. Imagine this. You are sitting by yourself, with nothing but your thoughts, your feelings, and the vastness of your potential. This is not a moment of loneliness. This is a moment of reconnection. Reconnecting with your most authentic self in solitude. We have the freedom to explore the depths of our minds and hearts without fear of judgment. There is no one else to please, no one else to measure up to, just the raw, unfiltered truth of who you are. This process of self-discovery is not always easy. It can feel uncomfortable at times, even painful. We may confront aspects of ourselves we've long ignored or pushed aside. But this is where the real growth happens. The discomfort we feel in solitude is often a sign that we are breaking free from the constraints we've placed on ourselves. Constraints formed by society, by our past, by other people's expectations. In solitude, we are given the opportunity to tear down those walls and uncover who we truly are beneath them. When we are constantly surrounded by others, it can be easy to adopt identities that are shaped by external influences. We may wear masks to fit in, to gain approval, or to avoid confrontation. But in solitude, these masks start to slip away, revealing the person who has been hidden beneath them for far too long. We begin to see ourselves clearly, not through the lens of what others want us to be, but through the lens of what we truly desire. Solitude offers us a rare opportunity to reflect on our values, our passions, and our purpose in life. Without the constant input from others, we are free to question our beliefs, challenge our assumptions, and reevaluate the path we are on. Are we living a life that is true to ourselves, or are we merely going through the motions, trying to meet the expectations of those around us? In solitude, we have the space to ask these questions, and more importantly, to find the answers. Think about the great minds of history, those who have shaped the world with their ideas, their art, and their innovations. Many of them spent significant time in solitude. They understood that in order to create, to innovate, and to make a lasting impact, they first needed to understand themselves. Solitude was not an escape for them. It was a necessary tool for self-discovery and growth. Whether it was the painter locked away in their studio, the writer retreating into their thoughts, or the scientist seeking quiet contemplation, these individuals knew that in order to contribute something meaningful to the world, they first needed to understand who they were. Their moments of solitude were the breeding grounds for creativity, clarity, and profound insight. Without these moments of quiet reflection, their greatest achievements may never have come to life. But solitude is not just for the artists and innovators of the world, it's for all of us. It is a practice that can be embraced by anyone at any time. It's about creating the space to listen to our own thoughts and feelings, to check in with ourselves, and to take inventory of our lives. Are we on the path we truly want to be on? Are we living in alignment with our values? Are we giving ourselves the time and space to grow, to evolve, and to become the best version of ourselves? Solitude doesn't just give us the space to discover who we are. It also gives us the time to heal. In the hustle and bustle of daily life, we often push our emotions and our pain to the side, too busy to confront them. But in solitude, we are given the chance to face our wounds, to process our grief, to heal from past traumas, and to let go of old patterns that no longer serve us. The healing power of solitude is one of its most profound gifts. It's in these quiet moments that we can tap into our deepest reservoirs of strength. When we face ourselves in solitude, we learn to trust in alone as a radical act of self-care and self-awareness. It is the space where we can reconnect with our true selves, reflect on our purpose, and align our actions with our deepest desires. Solitude is not an absence, it is a presence of mind, body, and spirit that allows us to truly know ourselves and to live a life that is authentic and fulfilling. The power of solitude is often underestimated in our fast-paced, hyper-connected world. We are constantly surrounded by noise, whether it's the chatter of social media, the hum of technology, or the demands of everyday life. Yet it is in moments of solitude that the most profound personal growth occurs. Solitude, when embraced intentionally, becomes a space for self-reflection, healing, and transformation. It is within this quiet, unhurried time that we have the opportunity to truly connect with ourselves and unlock the potential we often overlook. When we spend time alone, we create an environment where we can hear our inner thoughts and feelings without external distractions. This clarity allows us to better understand who we truly are, what we want, what we fear, and what we believe. In solitude, we have the chance to examine our inner world with greater depth and objectivity. We can assess our current state and make decisions about the direction we want to take. Often we are so caught up in external influences that we lose sight of our own desires and values. Solitude gives us the space to rediscover these fundamental truths. Personal growth begins with self-awareness. Without solitude, it is easy to become lost in the noise and expectations of the world around us. We begin to live our lives according to the wishes of others, and our own desires fade into the background. But when we embrace solitude, we step away from the influence of others, and we are left with only ourselves. It is in this space that we can reflect on our actions, our habits, and our goals. Are we living in alignment with our true values, or have we become sidetracked by the pressures of life? Solitude provides us with the opportunity to reevaluate our choices and adjust our course as needed. As we spend time alone, we also allow ourselves to heal. Life presents us with challenges, setbacks, and disappointments that can leave emotional scars. We often rush through life without taking the time to fully process these experiences, and as a result, we carry emotional baggage that weighs us down. Solitude gives us the time and space to confront and release these emotions. It is in solitude that we can fully process our grief, frustration, and anger and begin to let go of the past. Healing can only take place when we are willing to be vulnerable with ourselves and acknowledge the hurt we carry. In solitude, we also learn to cultivate self-compassion. We often treat ourselves harshly, judging ourselves for our mistakes and imperfections. But when we are alone, we can learn to accept ourselves fully. We can practice kindness and patience, recognizing that personal growth is a process and that we are constantly evolving. Solitude allows us to step away from the critical voices of others and embrace our own humanity. We begin to understand that we are not defined by our failures, but by our ability to learn from them and keep moving forward. Another significant benefit of solitude and personal growth is the opportunity it provides for creativity and innovation. When we are surrounded by others, it's easy to get caught up in their ideas and ways of thinking, but when we are alone, we are free to explore our own thoughts and ideas without the influence of external voices. This is where true creativity can flourish. Solitude allows us to think deeply, to question the status quo, and to develop new perspectives. It is in these moments of isolation that we can make groundbreaking discoveries, not only about the world around us, but also about our own abilities and potential. Solitude also plays a critical role in building resilience. Life is full of challenges, and we often find ourselves in situations that test our strength and character. The ability to navigate these challenges with grace and determination is crucial to personal growth. In solitude, we have the chance to build this inner strength. It is in these quiet moments that we can reflect on past challenges and how we overcame them. Solitude teaches us that we have the strength to handle adversity. It allows us to reconnect with our inner warrior, the part of us that is capable of facing even the most difficult circumstances. Additionally, solitude provides the opportunity to strengthen our emotional intelligence. In our busy lives, we often fail to understand our own emotional responses to various situations. We may act impulsively or react without fully considering the impact of our actions. But in solitude, we can observe our emotional patterns and gain a deeper understanding of what drives our behavior. We learn to recognize our triggers, our fears, and our desires. This self-awareness is the foundation of emotional intelligence, which is essential for navigating relationships, making decisions, and leading a fulfilled life. Through solitude, we also develop a greater sense of purpose. The demands of life can pull us in many different directions, leaving us feeling scattered and unfocused. In solitude, we are given the time to ask ourselves some of life's most important questions. What is my purpose? What do I want to contribute to the world? What legacy do I wish to leave behind? When we take the time to reflect on these questions, we can begin to align our actions with our deepest desires. We become more intentional in how we live, and this intentionality propels us toward growth and fulfillment. Solitude also strengthens our ability to make decisions. In the chaos of daily life, it can be easy to make decisions based on what is most urgent or convenient rather than what is most important. Solitude provides the clarity needed to make decisions from a place of intention and purpose. It is in these quiet moments that we can tune out the noise and listen to our intuition. We learn to trust ourselves, to make decisions that align with our values, and to have the confidence to follow through on those decisions. Moreover, solitude fosters deep personal empowerment. It is in the stillness that we realize how much power we have within us to create the life we want. We often look to others for validation and approval, but when we are alone, we are forced to rely on ourselves. This fosters a sense of self-sufficiency and independence. We learn that we don't need external validation to feel worthy or capable. The power to shape our lives lies within us, and solitude allows us to connect with that inner power. In the process of spending time alone, we also cultivate patience. In our fast-paced world, we are used to instant gratification, but personal growth is rarely an overnight achievement. It takes time, effort, and consistency. Solitude teaches us to embrace the journey, to appreciate the process of growth, and to trust that each step forward is valuable, even if the progress feels slow. Through solitude, we learn that true transformation happens gradually, and that the patience we cultivate in these quiet moments will serve us in every area of our lives. Finally, solitude serves as a reminder that we are enough as we are. In a world that constantly pressures us to do more, be more, and achieve more, solitude teaches us that we don't have to prove ourselves to anyone. We are worthy of love, respect, and success simply by being ourselves. In the stillness, we reconnect with our inherent worth, and this recognition becomes the foundation for all personal growth. Solitude teaches us to accept ourselves fully and to embrace who we are rather than who we think we should be. In the end, solitude is not something to be feared or avoided. It is a powerful tool for personal growth, healing, and transformation. By embracing solitude, we open ourselves up to the possibility of becoming the best version of ourselves. We learn to trust ourselves, to heal, to create, to grow, and to live with purpose. Solitude is the space where we find our true strength, and it is through this power that we can unlock our full potential. Solitude is often viewed as something to be avoided, a state of isolation that many associate with loneliness or lack of connection. However, when approached intentionally, solitude becomes a powerful gateway to creativity. The mind, free from the noise of the world, can access a level of clarity and depth that is nearly impossible to achieve in the midst of distractions. In solitude, the boundaries that restrict our imagination begin to dissolve, and we are left with the freedom to explore new ideas, question assumptions, and cultivate the creative visions that have always been within us. When we spend time alone, we provide our minds with the space to wander, explore, and make connections that would not be possible in a crowded, busy environment. Creativity is not simply about coming up with new ideas. It's about seeing connections between things that others might not notice. In the chaos of daily life, we are often overwhelmed with external stimuli, from the opinions of others to the constant barrage of media. This noise crowds our thoughts and limits our ability to think freely. But when we retreat into solitude, we strip away those distractions, allowing our minds to roam freely. It is in these moments of quiet that the most original and innovative ideas emerge. Solitude also fosters the kind of deep thinking necessary for breakthrough creativity. Often we are so caught up in our day-to-day responsibilities that we fail to carve out the time needed to think critically or reflect on the bigger picture. We rush from one task to another, never taking a step back to ask ourselves, what is the true purpose of what I am doing? But when we are alone, we can pause and allow our thoughts to settle. This stillness invites deeper reflection, helping us look beyond the surface level and engage with the core of our ideas. It's in this quiet space that we can begin to question the conventional wisdom, challenge the status quo, and develop fresh perspectives that lead to creative breakthroughs. Solitude also plays a critical role in the process of brainstorming and idea generation. Without the influence or judgment of others, we are free to express ourselves without self-censorship. In the presence of others, we might fear judgment or criticism, which can stifle our creative expression. However, when we are alone, we are in an environment where our thoughts are not immediately scrutinized. This freedom allows our imagination to run wild. We can explore unconventional ideas without fear of rejection or ridicule, and often it is these out-of-the-box concepts that lead to the most innovative solutions. Moreover, solitude provides the opportunity for experimentation and trial and error. Creativity is rarely a linear process. It is full of twists, turns, and unexpected discoveries. When we are surrounded by others, the pressure to be right or to make quick decisions can limit our willingness to experiment. But in solitude, there is no rush. We can take our time, trying different approaches, making mistakes, and learning from them. This process of trial and error is a vital part of creativity because it allows us to refine our ideas, test their validity, and discover new possibilities. The space of solitude gives us the patience and flexibility to follow our creative instincts without the fear of making mistakes. Another essential aspect of solitude is that it encourages self-reliance. In the presence of others, we may seek validation or rely on their input to move forward with our ideas. But in solitude, we must trust ourselves and our own judgment. This self-reliance is empowering because it forces us to take ownership of our creative process. We need to trust our instincts, build confidence in our abilities, and develop a sense of independence when we are alone, we are also free to learn without stifling creativity. We no longer measure our ideas against those of others. Instead, we focus on what we uniquely are. Solitude also nurtures the connection between the conscious and subconscious minds. Many creative ideas emerge from the subconscious, part of our mind that stores memories, emotions, and experiences that we are not always aware of. And in solitude, we create the conditions for our subconscious thoughts to surface. Without the distraction of external stimuli, we are able to tap into the depths of our mind and bring these hidden ideas into conscious awareness. This process of letting go allows us to access a wealth of untapped creative potential. The key to unlocking this creativity is silence, giving our minds the space to process, reflect, and connect with ideas we may not have even known were there. The solitude required for creativity is not just about being physically alone, but also about quieting the mind. Our minds are constantly active, running from one thought to the next, often without a clear direction. This mental clutter can make it difficult to focus or think deeply. But in solitude, we can practice mindfulness and meditation, techniques that help still the mind and bring us into the present moment. As we quiet our inner dialogue, we create space for new ideas to emerge. The mind becomes clear, receptive, and open to inspiration, allowing creativity to flow more freely. This mental clarity is essential for the creative process because it allows us to discern the most valuable ideas from the noise of our thoughts. Another powerful aspect of solitude in creativity is the ability to engage in deep, uninterrupted concentration. In our interconnected world, distractions are everywhere. Notifications, emails, phone calls, and social media constantly pull our attention in multiple directions. These distractions break our focus and hinder our ability to think deeply. However, when we are alone, we can create an environment that fosters deep concentration. Whether we are working on a project, writing, painting, or developing a new idea, Solitude allows us to immerse ourselves fully in the task at hand. This uninterrupted focus enables us to explore ideas in greater depth, refine our skills, and produce work that is truly original. In solitude, we also have the opportunity to reflect on our past work, learning from both our successes and our failures. It is easy to get caught up in the busyness of life and forget to evaluate our progress. But in moments of solitude, we can step back and critically assess what we've created. We can see where our strengths lie and where we may need improvement. This reflection is a key part of the creative process because it allows us to refine our craft and continually evolve. Solitude offers the space to grow, not only creatively, but also personally. The lessons we learn in solitude extend beyond the creative process and shape the way we approach all aspects of our lives. Additionally, the sense of accomplishment that comes from working alone is deeply fulfilling. There is something incredibly powerful about creating something entirely on our own, without outside influence or collaboration. It is in these moments of solitary work that we often feel most connected to our purpose and passion. We are driven by the desire to express our ideas, and the act of creating becomes its own reward. This intrinsic motivation fuels our creativity, pushing us to explore new territories and pursue projects that resonate deeply with us. The solitude we embrace nurtures this sense of purpose, which is essential for sustained creative output. As we continue to grow and evolve in our creative endeavors, solitude remains a constant ally. It is in solitude that we reconnect with our inner vision, rediscover our passions, and unlock new dimensions of our creativity. The quiet moments of alone time allow us to cultivate a deeper connection with ourselves and our work. Solitude is not simply an absence of people, it is the presence of possibility, the fertile ground in which creativity can blossom. By embracing solitude, we allow ourselves the space to dream, to explore, and to create without limits. This is where true innovation begins. Solitude is often seen as a place of weakness or isolation, a state that many dread. It is portrayed as the absence of connection, something that leaves us vulnerable and exposed. However, there is an immense strength to be found in solitude, a power that can transform how we understand ourselves and our place in the world. When we spend time alone, away from the constant distractions and pressures of society, we are presented with an opportunity to tap into an inner strength that is often overlooked. In these moments of solitude, we learn to stand on our own, to rely on our own wisdom, and to discover the vast reservoirs of resilience that reside within us. The first aspect of strength that solitude reveals is the power of self-reliance. In a world that constantly encourages collaboration and dependence on others, being alone can feel daunting. However, solitude teaches us to trust ourselves and our abilities. When we are alone, we no longer have the external influences of others to rely on. We are forced to make decisions on our own, to navigate challenges without a safety net, and to face our fears head on. This self-reliance is not just about surviving in isolation. It is about discovering that we are capable of standing strong on our own. In the absence of others, we find that we have the power to shape our own destiny, to take ownership of our actions, and to move forward with confidence. Another profound strength that solitude offers is the opportunity for deep self-reflection. In our fast-paced world, we are constantly bombarded with distractions, opinions, and external expectations. This noise can drown out our inner voice, making it difficult to hear our true desires, values, and needs. But in solitude, we are free from these distractions. The silence becomes a mirror in which we can reflect on our lives, our choices, and our purpose. This process of self-reflection is an essential part of personal growth. It allows us to assess where we are, where we want to go, and what changes we need to make in order to live a life that is aligned with our true selves. By taking the time to reflect in solitude, we gain clarity and insight that empowers us to move forward with purpose. Solitude also builds emotional resilience. Life is filled with challenges and hardships that can leave us feeling weak, helpless, or defeated. In the presence of others, it is easy to seek comfort or validation when we are struggling. But in solitude, we are forced to confront our emotions on our own. There is no one to turn to for reassurance, no one to offer a distraction from our pain or fear. In this space, we are given the opportunity to sit with our emotions, to understand them, and to find ways to navigate them with strength. Solitude teaches us that we do not need to rely on others to overcome our challenges. We are fully capable of processing our emotions, healing our wounds, and emerging stronger from difficult experiences. The ability to face our emotions without external support is a testament to the strength that solitude can cultivate. Moreover, solitude allows us to connect with our inner purpose. In the hustle and bustle of life, it is easy to lose sight of what truly matters. We can get caught up in the expectations of others, in the pursuit of success, or in the need to conform. But in solitude, we are forced to reconnect with ourselves on a deeper level. It is in these moments of aloneness that we can reflect on our passions, our desires, and our purpose in life. We can listen to the quiet whispers of our heart, guiding us toward what truly fulfills us. This connection to our inner purpose is a source of strength because it provides us with a sense of direction and motivation. When we know what we are meant to do, we can face any challenge with confidence, knowing that we are walking the path that is right for us. Solitude also allows us to build mental toughness. In solitude, there are no distractions, no one to placate us or tell us what we want to hear. We are faced with our thoughts, our fears, and our doubts. This can be uncomfortable at first, but it is through this discomfort that we develop the mental fortitude to overcome adversity. Solitude forces us to confront the darker aspects of our minds, the insecurities, and the negative thought patterns that can hold us back. By facing these thoughts head on, we learn to quiet them and not let them control us. We become stronger, more resilient, and better equipped to handle the challenges that life throws our way. The process of training our minds in solitude helps us build the mental toughness needed to persevere no matter what obstacles we encounter. Another powerful strength that solitude provides is the ability to develop a sense of inner peace. In a world that is constantly moving, there is often little room for stillness. We are always running from one task to the next, never taking the time to simply be. But in solitude, we can cultivate a deep sense of peace within ourselves. This peace is not dependent on external circumstances. It is the state of being that comes from within. When we are alone, we are free from the noise and chaos of the world, and we can find a sense of calm and tranquility that is otherwise difficult to access. This inner peace becomes a source of strength because it gives us the ability to remain grounded and centered no matter what challenges arise. It allows us to respond to life with calmness and clarity rather than reacting impulsively out of fear or stress. Solitude also strengthens our sense of purpose and direction in life. When we are constantly surrounded by others, it is easy to become influenced by their goals, dreams, and expectations. We may begin to lose sight of our own aspirations, following the paths that others have laid out for us, instead of pursuing what truly resonates with us. However, in solitude, we are free to reconnect with our authentic desires. We can reflect on our dreams and passions without the influence of others. And this clarity gives us the strength to pursue them relentlessly. Solitude empowers us to take ownership of our own journey, to trust in our vision, and to follow the path that is uniquely ours. Finally, solitude fosters a deep sense of gratitude. In a world that constantly demands more, it is easy to become discontented, always striving for the next goal or achievement. However, when we spend time alone, we are given the opportunity to reflect on what we have and the blessings in our lives. We learn to appreciate the simple things, the quiet moments, the beauty of nature, the peace that comes with being alone. This gratitude becomes a source of strength because it shifts our focus from what we lack to what we have. It helps us cultivate a mindset of abundance, recognizing that we are already whole and that everything we need to thrive is already within us. In solitude, we find a powerful source of strength that cannot be found in the external world. It is in the stillness and quiet that we discover our own resilience, our own wisdom, and our own purpose. Through self-reliance, emotional resilience, mental toughness, and a deep connection to our inner peace, solitude becomes a transformative tool that empowers us to become the strongest versions of ourselves. Solitude, often perceived as an uncomfortable state or something to be avoided, is in reality a powerful gateway to inner peace. In a world constantly demanding our attention, urging us to connect, interact, and engage with everything and everyone around us, the ability to be alone without feeling lonely can offer profound peace. The quiet of solitude becomes a sanctuary where the noise of the world fades away and we are left with only the most essential parts of ourselves. This peace isn't found in a bustling crowd or in constant activity. It is discovered in the stillness and the silence that solitude provides. The first step toward finding inner peace through solitude is learning to embrace silence. Silence is not simply the absence of noise. It is a space in which we can hear our own thoughts, feelings, and desires without external interference. In the hustle and bustle of daily life, it is easy to become disconnected from our inner selves. We are bombarded with external stimuli, constantly reacting to what is happening around us. However, when we allow ourselves to sit in silence, we create the mental space necessary for self-reflection. It is within this silence that we can begin to listen to our inner voice, the part of us that knows what we truly need, what we truly desire, and what brings us peace. By embracing silence, we open ourselves to a deeper understanding of ourselves, and in turn, we find a sense of peace that has nothing to do with external circumstances. Solitude also provides the opportunity to release the tension and stress that we accumulate in our daily lives. We often carry emotional baggage from past experiences, unresolved conflicts, fears, and insecurities that prevent us from feeling at peace. In solitude, we are given the space to confront these emotions. There is no rush, no one around to push us forward or distract us from our pain. We can simply sit with our feelings, allowing them to come and go without judgment. This process of emotional release is crucial in the journey toward inner peace. It is only when we allow ourselves to feel and process our emotions that we can let go of the weight they place on our hearts and minds. Solitude becomes a healing balm, offering us the time and space to work through our emotional turmoil and restore our peace. Another essential aspect of solitude as a path to inner peace is the opportunity it provides for mindfulness. Mindfulness is the practice of being fully present in the moment, paying attention to our thoughts, feelings, and sensations without judgment. In our everyday lives, it is easy to get caught up in the past or worry about the future. We may ruminate on past mistakes or obsess over what may happen in the days to come, but in solitude, we are given the gift of presence. We can focus on the here and now without distractions pulling our attention away. This practice of mindfulness helps us to quiet the constant chatter of our minds and to find peace in the present moment. It is in these moments of mindfulness that we realize that peace is not something we need to chase. It is already here within us in the present moment. Solitude offers us the perfect environment to practice mindfulness and to cultivate a sense of calm that we can carry with us even when we return to the noise of the outside world. In solitude, we also have the opportunity to reconnect with our true selves. Often we become so caught up in fulfilling the expectations of others or in performing roles that society has assigned us that we forget who we truly are. In solitude, there are no roles to play, no expectations to meet. We are simply ourselves, free from the judgments and pressures that come from external sources. It is in this state of being that we can reconnect with our core values, desires, and beliefs. This connection to our true self is vital for inner peace because it allows us to live in alignment with who we are rather than trying to fit into a mold that doesn't serve us. When we know who we truly are, we can make choices that reflect our authentic selves, which brings a sense of fulfillment and peace that cannot be found by conforming to others' expectations. Solitude also nurtures our ability to practice self-compassion. In a world that often encourages us to be hard on ourselves, to push through pain and discomfort without rest, solitude provides the opportunity to treat ourselves with kindness and understanding. When we are alone, we are free from external judgments, allowing us to be more compassionate toward ourselves. We can acknowledge our mistakes and shortcomings without the fear of criticism, and we can offer ourselves the same care and understanding that we would offer to a dear friend. This self-compassion is a powerful tool for inner peace because it helps us to release feelings of guilt, shame, and self-doubt. By practicing self-compassion in solitude, we create an internal environment that is nurturing, loving, and peaceful. Another critical component of finding inner peace through solitude is the ability to detach from the external world. We live in a society that constantly demands our attention. We are bombarded by news, social media, and the expectations of others. These external pressures can cause anxiety, stress, and a sense of disconnection from ourselves. In solitude, we can take a step back from the noise of the world. We can detach from the things that cause us stress and focus solely on our own well-being. This detachment doesn't mean withdrawing from life entirely. Rather, it means creating healthy boundaries and choosing to prioritize our peace over external demands. In solitude, we can practice this detachment, learning to let go of the need to control everything around us and instead focusing on what we can control: our own thoughts, feelings, and reactions. Solitude also encourages us to cultivate a deep sense of gratitude. When we are constantly surrounded by others and the distractions of daily life, it can be easy to overlook the blessings that are already present. However, in solitude, we are given the opportunity to reflect on all that we have experienced, and all that we have learned. We begin to appreciate the simple things, the quiet moments, the beauty of nature, the time we have to ourselves. This gratitude fosters a sense of contentment and peace because it shifts our focus from what is lacking to what is abundant in our lives. In solitude, we realize that we have everything we need to find peace right where we are. Finally, solitude offers the chance for spiritual connection. For many, the journey toward inner peace involves a connection to something greater than themselves, whether it be nature, the universe, or a higher power. In solitude, we are free from distractions and can open ourselves to this deeper connection. Without the noise of the world clouding our perception, we are able to feel more attuned to the spiritual aspects of our lives. This connection provides a profound sense of peace as we recognize that we are part of something larger and more meaningful. Solitude becomes a space where we can deepen our spiritual practice, whether through meditation, prayer, or simply being in nature. And in doing so, we find a peace that transcends the material world. Solitude, then, is not something to fear or avoid. It is a powerful tool for discovering inner peace. It is in the quiet moments of solitude that we find the clarity, self-awareness, and connection that lead to a deep and lasting peace. By embracing solitude, we open ourselves to the possibility of living a life that is grounded in inner tranquility, regardless of the chaos and noise that may exist around us. Through silence, mindfulness, self-compassion, and a deeper connection to our true selves, solitude becomes the path that leads to true inner peace. Solitude is often viewed with apprehension, a state many of us try to avoid at all costs. We live in a world that encourages constant connectivity, where social media, emails, and text messages demand our attention and pull us away from the present moment. In this constant rush, solitude is seen as uncomfortable, isolating, or even lonely. However, when we change our perspective, we begin to see that solitude is not something to be feared or avoided. It is, in fact, one of the most transformative forces in our lives. The transformative power of solitude begins with the ability to create space for self-reflection. In the chaos of daily life, we often become distracted by the constant flow of external information, obligations, and interactions. We may find ourselves reacting to life rather than actively engaging with it. Solitude provides a rare opportunity to step back, disconnect, and evaluate the choices we have made and the direction our lives are heading. It allows us to take a pause to reflect on who we are, what we want, and what we need in order to grow. In this space, we are no longer defined by our roles or the expectations of others. Instead, we return to our core selves, gaining clarity about our purpose, our values, and our desires. It is through this self-awareness that we can begin to align our actions with our deepest truths. Solitude also serves as a powerful catalyst for creativity. Many of the world's greatest thinkers, artists, and innovators found their most profound ideas and insights in solitude. When we are alone, away from distractions, we are able to tap into our inner creativity without fear of judgment or interruption. The quiet of solitude creates a fertile ground for the imagination to flourish. Our minds become open to new ideas, connections, and possibilities that we may have missed in the hustle and bustle of daily life. In this way, solitude becomes not a void, but a space full of potential, a space where we can explore our creative instincts and experiment with new ways of thinking and being. Creativity, when nurtured in solitude, is unencumbered by the limitations and doubts that often arise when we share ideas with others too soon. It is in solitude that we can build, refine, and bring our creative visions to life. Another transformative aspect of solitude is its ability to help us heal and release past emotional baggage. Throughout our lives, we accumulate emotional scars, traumas, regrets, and unresolved issues that weigh heavily on our hearts and minds. In the midst of everyday distractions, we often suppress or ignore these emotions, believing that they are too painful or inconvenient to deal with. But solitude gives us the space and time we need to confront these emotions head on. It is in solitude that we can allow ourselves to fully feel our pain, sadness, and grief without the fear of judgment or the need to move on quickly. We can process our emotions at our own pace, allowing ourselves to release the negative energy that has been holding us back. This emotional release is incredibly freeing. It opens the door to healing, allowing us to let go of the past and move forward with a renewed sense of clarity and lightness. Solitude also has the power to deepen our spiritual connection. In a world that is constantly vying for our attention, it is easy to forget about the spiritual aspects of life. Many of us find ourselves so consumed with achieving external success, whether through our careers, relationships, or material possessions, that we neglect our inner world. Solitude, however, invites us to reconnect with our spiritual selves. Whether through meditation, prayer, or simply being in nature, solitude allows us to quiet the mind and open ourselves to a higher consciousness. It is in these moments of solitude that we can feel a deep connection to something greater than ourselves, a sense of peace, purpose, and meaning that transcends the material world. When we allow ourselves to fully experience this spiritual connection, we begin to see life from a different perspective, one that is grounded in love, gratitude, and a sense of unity with all things. In solitude, we are also encouraged to cultivate self-discipline and self-reliance. In a world that often seeks external validation and approval, solitude provides a space where we must rely solely on ourselves. We learn to be comfortable with our own company, to trust our intuition, and to make decisions based on our own inner wisdom rather than seeking approval from others. This self-reliance is not about isolating ourselves from the world, but rather about strengthening our inner foundation so that we can navigate life's challenges with confidence and resilience. Solitude teaches us that we are our own best source of support and that the answers to life's most important questions often lie within us. It encourages us to take responsibility for our own growth and to find strength in our ability to face the world on our own terms. Solitude also gives us the opportunity to cultivate mindfulness. Mindfulness is the practice of being fully present in the moment, paying attention to our thoughts, feelings, and surroundings without judgment. In the midst of our busy, fast-paced lives, it is easy to become disconnected from the present moment, constantly thinking about the past or worrying about the future. Solitude allows us to slow down, to focus on our breath, our body, and the world around us. In these moments, we can practice being fully engaged with life as it is happening, without the distraction of external stimuli. Mindfulness in solitude helps us to develop a deeper sense of gratitude, awareness, and appreciation for the small moments in life. It allows us to experience life in its most authentic form, unclouded by the distractions and pressures that often cause us to miss out on the beauty and simplicity of the present. Moreover, solitude can be a powerful tool for self-transformation. It is in solitude that we are most able to look at our fears, our limiting beliefs, and the stories we tell ourselves about who we are and what we can accomplish. Often these stories are shaped by external influences, by the voices of others, or by past experiences that have left us feeling small or incapable. But solitude offers us a chance to rewrite these stories. When we are alone, we are free to question the narratives we have adopted about ourselves and to challenge the beliefs that have held us back. In solitude, we can begin to cultivate new stories, stories that empower us, that affirm our worth and potential, and that inspire us to take bold steps toward our personal transformation. As we spend more time in solitude, we begin to recognize the deep well of inner strength and resilience that resides within us. Solitude teaches us that we are capable of facing life's challenges without relying on others to validate our worth. It teaches us that our happiness, peace, and fulfillment do not depend on external circumstances, but on our ability to connect with our true selves. Solitude allows us to rediscover the power that lies within us, waiting to be tapped into. The transformative power of solitude is not only about healing and self-discovery, it is also about empowerment. When we learn to embrace solitude, we learn to trust ourselves, to rely on our own inner guidance, and to make choices that are in alignment with our true desires and values. Solitude is a practice that empowers us to create the lives we want without the pressure of conforming to others' expectations. It teaches us that the path to personal transformation and growth is not through the approval or validation of others, but through our own connection to our authentic selves. In this way, solitude becomes a powerful tool for self-empowerment, enabling us to step into our fullest potential and live a life of purpose, fulfillment, and joy